Welcome everyone to the Conscious Canine podcast. This is our very first episode and I am super excited to be here today with Jo Cathcart from Hempine.
Hello. Lovely to be here.
Great, because Jo I have wanted to meet for a very long time, for years and years. It's got to be 10 years ago that I started looking into your products.
Yeah.
And I did used to actually stock them on the Canine Flow website, didn't I, a while ago?
You were one of our first stockists.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
And then the VMD got involved and we kind of had to take them down for the time being. But I think you've kind of found ways that you can sell them again. So these are back on the market to support your dogs and to support horses. Other animals they help?
Yeah, we've got cats, we've got a big pig that has just got onto it, goats, donkeys. All animals have an endocannabinoid system, so it means that it can help all mammals. Yeah, anyone that has an ECS system.
So tell me about the pig. Dead interested. Is this a customer of yours, or
This is a customer of ours. Yeah, it's a pygmy pig.
Oh, okay. So a pet one, possibly.
Yeah, pet pig who's got arthritis, really stiff, really unhappy, really miserable. She'd been to the vet. The vet didn't really know what to prescribe for the pet. They tried normal sort of medication. It wasn't really helping, and she already uses our CBD for her horses and her dogs.
Okay, right.
So she said to me, can I try this on my pig? And I said, well, he's got the same ECS system. There's no reason it shouldn't help him too. And now she has a very happy pig that's no longer in pain, that's more comfortable, moving around, and yes, it's been a really good success story.
Oh, that's so adorable. So what's his name, the piggy, do you know?
Yeah, he's called Pork. Which is...
Oh goodness, what not to name your pig? Brilliant. Yeah, okay. When I had my tattoo done, it was done by somebody called Fade. So, yeah, sometimes people's names really go with what they do.
Yes.
Sometimes they totally don't.
Yes.
Although they do in a kind of quirky way, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well at least Pork's happy. And Pork is not going to be Pork. So
yes.
So he's a happy pig.
That's right.
So we've got some of the products out here.
Yes.
You've got your Hempine. I mean, this is the same but just different
Correct.
size.
Yep, so this is our Hempine CBD coconut oil powder. So we have the 300 gram pouch, we've got the 150 gram pouch, just exactly the same product as you said, but different sizes. And it's a powder.
Yes,
Smell.
of course I know. Well, I did smell it
what it
before.
looks already. Yeah.
It does smell.
Hempy, planty.
It does. It kind of. I mean, it isn't an unpleasant smell, but I don't think it's not something that would, the whole botanical self-selection. I wouldn't necessarily feel drawn to ingesting it.
But animals are. Dogs and horses love it. Yeah,
okay.
We've done a lot of self-selection with them, with it just on the ground with other herbs, and 9 times out of 10, they go to the CBD. So they really like it.
So why do we need drops?
So drops are for fussy eaters, so that 1 out of 10 that doesn't like the taste or the smell of the powder can go for droppers. And also they are good for like one-off occasions. So if you just want to use it for anxiety, like they don't like travelling in the car, for example, it's just quick, it's easy, just a few drops under their tongue or onto a treat and they can just eat it. And it's faster acting, so that kicks in within half an hour, and the powder is 1 hour.
I wondered how long it took to actually make a difference. So this is within half an hour.
Yep.
Travelling isn't great sometimes for dogs.
A lot of dogs
sometimes
don't like
it's
travelling.
nausea, to be fair. It's not always fit. I mean, how would this fare
And that would help
supporting nausea, would it?
Yeah, that would
really
help with nausea
as well. So
Yeah.
it's not only calming them down and helping with the anxiety levels, it's
Yep.
also helping with the nausea. That's really fantastic. I didn't know that because I did wonder, in the past I'd heard that it was better to have CBD through the membrane inside the mouth than it was to have it going through the digestive tract.
Yep.
But maybe it's not that it's better, it's just that it's faster acting.
It is faster acting with our product. So basically CBD is fat soluble. So by adding it to the coconut oil, which is what we do, which is obviously a fat, it makes it more bioavailable.
Right.
So it is more effective. It is absorbed into the body quicker than those droppers would be. So it's more effective, more efficient.
Right.
So yeah.
Okay. In terms of dosing, though, this is something that everybody asks because there's so many different types of CBD, and there seems to be different milligrams per bottle. It can get really confusing.
It's really confusing.
How do you start to know what your animal needs?
I think the thing is, with us, we know our product. We know it really well. We've been selling it for over 5 years. So with us, it was very much, sort of working with our owners to begin with to work out what was right for their animals. And then now, 5 years later, we know, we always give an approximate guide, and it's based on weight. And then it's about finding their sweet spot. So you give a little bit more if you feel like it's not working enough. If you feel like, maybe it's a little bit too much, you'd go down a little bit. Basically, with a dog, if you've given them too much CBD, the worst side effect, and only a side effect you will get, is that they might have a little bit of diarrhea, for example. But that is giving them too high a dose. And the beauty of it is that is the only side effect. So that's as bad as it gets. And that's if you gave them way too much. So if you're giving them
sleep or something.
No, it wouldn't. I mean, it might make them a little bit dopey, maybe slightly dopey, but not really. It's more that, like their stools would go loose, like you said. So that's something you'd look out for.
Once, and then you might consider that's what you've done. And is that going to be the same with the dropper and the plant as well?
Yep.
So what have you done to the plant then? Well, how have you changed it or what's happening?
So without giving away all of our secrets,
tell us how you make it.
The two ingredients in the powder is just two simple ingredients.
So this is a powder.
Yeah.
More than just chopped herbs, because it looks quite herby.
Yeah, well, we call it a powder just because of the consistency. Yeah. But it is two simple ingredients. It's just organic hemp flowers and organic coconut oil. Okay. So it's just those two ingredients, and then there's that's the ingredients for it. Yeah. So, the lovely thing about our powder is that it's not been highly processed. It's not been extracted or anything like that. So it's full spectrum, 100% organic. It is, completely natural. It's handmade ourselves, so we make it ourselves. So it's a bit like when people sort of ask about how ours is different from other CBD companies, you can get isolate CBD. Yes. And that means that they are isolating some of the cannabinoids in the product, in the CBD. And then you have full spectrum, which means you have all of the cannabinoids of the hemp plant. You haven't taken any out. You've got all the goodness in there, all the things that could do the good things. Does it make sense?
It does. No, it totally does. I mean,
it's like comparing Himalayan rock salt with table salt. Yes. So if you're going to go down the route of CBD, you always want to make sure it's a trusted brand. It's full spectrum. It's 100% organic. You want to know that it's third-party tested. So each batch should be third-party tested to check that the THC level is at 0.1%, which is what it needs to be legal. I tend to find that the majority of them do say those things, but they're not necessarily like this. This being the way it is with the flowers. You can
to
see
me,
it.
that
you
will
can
have.
see
It's almost like it's still got the plant's essence and the plant's
You can see the
frequencies
seeds, like the seeds of the plant in there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And seeds have got so much potential. I went to an absolutely fantastic Veda Austin talk on Saturday, and she photographs frozen water, and she puts different things in the water before she freezes it to see what will happen. And the seeds of the sunflower plant showed the sunflower, so the seeds know the potential that this can be shown. So the water is essentially showing the potential there in its freezing. So to have the seeds in it, I think, is quite a good thing.
The seeds are really high in protein as well.
See, and of course, that's the other thing about this is the nutrients that is involved in it. So vitamins, fatty acids, presumably, because hemp is quite a balanced essential fatty acid supplement on its own, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And then you infuse it in the coconut oil as well, and then you've got all of the goodness from the coconut oil too, which is why we went for that as the fat to bind the CBD to.
Okay. So you also, as well, you're doing lots of exciting things, and I think possibly you've moved here to Devon in order to progress with ideas that yourself and your husband have got, because your husband runs the human side of things, doesn't he? So he's got these wonderful Raised Spirit products.
Yes. So Nick set up Raised Spirit 7 years ago. He used to be a professional athlete, and him and his teammates used to use cannabis as a way of sort of their downtime between competitions, helping with recovery. You know, they were training hard twice a day, so their muscles, their mental health, you know, everything like that was really, really benefited from not from CBD, sorry, from the cannabis and from marijuana. When then CBD came on the market, first in America, then over here, he just thought, wow, this is brilliant, this is what I want to get into, and then set up the company. And then 2 years later, I then set up the animal side, because animals have, like I was saying before, all mammals have the ECS system, the same as humans do. So the way that humans benefit from it, then animals can too.
And what had you been doing before you decided to set up?
So before, me personally, raising our 3 children.
Okay.
So we've got 3 boys who are, how old are they? 10, 8 and 4. 10, 8 and 4. And the 4-year-old has just started school. So, really, for the last 5 years, I've still been sort of bringing them up. But we set up the website. People sort of were just buying on the website. It was just sort of through word of mouth. We had a Facebook page, but didn't really do anything on there. And then a year ago, when my little one started school, or preschool, I really got going with it. We did a couple of shows. We did Royal Windsor this year. There's a show called the Natural Horsemanship Showcase. And that one just sort of went, really, really well for us. Everyone there was looking for a natural substitute to things like Danilon, Butte, all of the sort of hardcore meds that the vets prescribe.
For horses?
Sorry, I've gone on to horses.
That's fine, because it's interesting. Does this really work as well as those? Because I would imagine there's a lot of people listening or watching that have got dogs on certain medications, like Metacam is used a lot for dogs. I mean, would this be a good alternative to that? Or complementary to it? Or?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so a lot of people use them instead, so now use the CBD instead of those meds, and we've got quite a few holistic vets that now prescribe the CBD, and some mainstream ones that are really keen, a little bit hesitant still, but they're keen, they can see the results. So that's the beauty of it with horses and dogs. It's just that you can use this instead. You can use it alongside them as well. That's the other beauty of it. It's always best to check with the vet before you go down the route of CBD. That's what we do always say. There are some medications that CBD can enhance and make stronger.
Really?
So you do
so
have
not necessarily contraindications, but things to think about in a way.
Just things to think about. It's always best to check with the vet first. Like I was saying, but
what would they be?
Most of the time,
you remember?
It's anything that it's the same with human products. It's the same with human stuff as it is with the animal CBD. So it's anything that warns that you can't have it with grapefruit. So any medication where you avoid grapefruit, you also have to be careful with CBD.
I might write that down. I did not know that.
Yeah, so it just makes the medication more effective. So you could just
Something
take
to do
less
with the liver.
to do with the liver.
Possibly. Yeah, and how the body's processing that.
Yeah, to do with the enzymes and things. Yeah.
Because hemp itself seems a bit like a wonder plant. When I started researching it, it was a little bit like, okay, because I mean, you know, you can buy dog beds made of hemp and probably dog coats, and I know you can get clothes made of hemp, and I've seen hemp rope. I didn't know that you could actually make concrete with hemp.
Hempcrete.
Yes, hempcrete, funnily enough.
Yeah.
Insulation, they can make insulation. So it just seems like something we could really be using. And even though it's kind of made a comeback now, historically, it's always been used. And we seem to have forgotten in the last sort of only really the last 90 to 100 years about this. And now it's coming back into people's minds a bit more, but I don't know to the extent of how we're going to integrate it better into farming practices. What I was reading about it is it's incredibly good for soil, so it really aerates soil, which is something that I think we need desperately. Really aerated soil, as you probably know, it's not very muddy. So when you're walking across a muddy field, that's a field that actually doesn't have very good soil at all. It just has a lot of it that sort of clumps around your feet. Whereas I think the hemp plant is really sending its roots in such a way that it creates the air pockets that helps to regenerate the soil, which we really, really need at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you go back, so it was 12,000 years ago, it was first talked about in China, and as you said, it was a huge part of their lives. So many things were used from the hemp plant. It's the stems and the sort of stalks that are used a lot for things like horse bedding, like you're saying, ropes, sails. Henry VIII actually insisted that all farmers use a quarter. You probably
was this in the 1500s or 1600s?
Yes. Yeah. So he insisted that they had to have a quarter acre of their farms actually, producing hemp because they used it so much.
Yeah, they really needed it. Yes, it was like a prerequisite to being a farmer. You had to actually grow this.
And like colonies used to trade with hemp. It was used for trading. It used to be such a massive thing. And then basically cotton came on the scene. And the machinery that they needed, it was very labour-intensive hemp. And so cotton came along, they had big machines, like that helped them to, produce it and harvest it and everything. So hemp sort of took a back seat then.
Yeah.
And then there was the big stigmatism about marijuana. And hemp got sort of drawn into the same category as marijuana, and therefore that sort of got banned. And then the whole cannabis plant was then sort of made illegal for some of the time, and it's only now, as you say, in the last kind of 20 years really that it's made a comeback. They made that distinction. So sort of to go into the science a bit more, you've got the cannabis plant and then you've got their cousins. So you've got the hemp plant on one side, which is 0.3% or lower THC, and then the other cousin of the cannabis plant is marijuana, and that's 0.3% THC and above. So that's got the hallucinogenic aspect, but the hemp plant doesn't. So, a lot of dog owners say to us, is it gonna make my dog high? Are they gonna start seeing pink elephants and things like that? But that doesn't happen with hemp because it doesn't have
hemp. Can you grow the hemp plant yourself?
So you can.
Is that allowed?
If you have a license. So
I thought it might be.
Yeah. So me and my husband recently got a hemp license, which is really exciting. It took us 2 years, and it's the reason we moved down here, which is what you said. Okay. We planted our first crop this year.
That's exciting.
It was very exciting. We were very excited when we planted it. Then the sun came out, and there was burning sunshine for once for 6 weeks, just as our borehole blocked, so we couldn't water it.
Oh no!
And then it rained for about a month of torrential rain. So our poor hemp harvest is not looking that healthy this year. But it was a bit of a trial and error. It's the first time we've done it. But we moved down to Devon to create a hemp farm. So it's eco-friendly, sustainable. It's off grid, very much just us on our hemp farm, doing our own thing, growing the hemp. And legally, you can grow hemp in the UK, but you must not harvest the flowers. So you can use the stalks. So another thing that we'll be going to will
these
be...
are flowers, so that's
So we have to
frustrating
buy
for
the
you.
flowers in.
Oh no.
Yeah, we have to buy the flowers, but we can grow our own hemp, and then we'll be going into hempcrete, like you were saying. So we'll be going to building materials, insulation, horse bedding.
Will you build a hemp house?
Hopefully, if we
Can you
ever
build
get
one for
planning
me?
on our...
That would be amazing.
Yes, if we ever get planning on our land, then we will. But at the moment, that is tricky.
What was grown on the land before you decided to put hemp on it? Was it just grass?
Nothing. It was just a meadow.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just used for grazing sheep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there was nothing on there. So the soil is going to be wonderful. So although the hemp harvest, not the flowers, but the plants haven't grown that well yet, the soil, like you were saying, will be really rich in nutrients and be good.
The licence is tedious, isn't it? Because I'm just thinking how much fun we could have regenerating soil with hemp if you didn't need a licence.
But you have to have a licence to grow it.
I mean, even in your back garden, if you wanted to enhance the soil, perhaps, that you're growing your vegetables in, we all know you can grow certain plants or put certain things on it that will support the soil. But what I was reading of hemp, it's pulling out all the heavy metals as well as aerating the soil. So it's creating a really wonderful platform for you to grow this lovely food,
It is.
Seems like the perfect answer. It's just a shame we can't do it immediately.
I know, there's always rules. Yeah, but hopefully one day. I mean, people are definitely coming round to realising the benefits of hemp, which is really exciting. So I think it's a really exciting, time for hemp.
Yes,
now.
You're right in at the beginning in a way. Well, not the beginning, but you've been in.
Yeah, the beginning was so long ago,
while,
but
anyway.
back in the second
the second phase of it.
Yeah.
What sort of dogs have you got?
None.
You haven't got any dogs. You've got horses. You've got horses.
No, I don't have dogs or horses.
Just children.
Just
Are enough.
Children
I'm so
are enough.
surprised. I well
know.
expected you to say like a Vizsla or something like that.
No, I used to. So
what dog would you love to have?
Well, we used to look for 8 years. We looked after Loopy, a Spanish water dog.
Ah, okay.
And when we left Watlington and moved to Devon 2 years ago, honestly, she was the hardest thing to leave. She was just a friend's dog that we looked after, but we had her sort of 4 days a week, and whenever they went away, which was quite often, so she was,
she'll miss you.
She has missed us. The thing is, we're very busy with Nick running Ray's Spirit, setting up the self-sustainable hemp farm, me with the 3 children, and running Hempine. It's just we've got a lot on our plate. Also, we're always thinking about moving abroad as well. So the commitment of a horse or a dog, we don't want to. We don't want to quite commit to that.
Oh, don't move abroad.
Yes.
We need to regenerate the soil in the UK.
Oh, we're not going to move yet. That's staying in Devon. That is still staying there. Don't worry. Just once that's set up, then we'll probably try and set it up somewhere else as well. Grow our own hemp, use the flowers from that hemp, so we can do everything from the beginning to the end. Because obviously
the
we are
big vision.
Limited. Yeah, that's the big vision. It's going to happen. It's not if, it's when. So that's exciting.
That's fantastic.
But yeah, in terms of the benefits for dogs and horses, not my personal ones, but the ones I've looked after and now continue to help with. The main benefits are the 2 big A's, so arthritis and anxiety.
Okay.
So CBD is known as being a very powerful anti-inflammatory and pain reliever and mood enhancer. So that's why it helps with anxiety and arthritis. It also has been shown to help with dogs with epilepsy, with allergies, things like sort of dermatitis and skin conditions. It helps as just a general well-being supplement for older dogs that are just getting a bit stiff and just need sort of a bit of a pick-me-up in terms of mood and their movement.
Oh, bless. So that's my dog. Bless her. She's a tripod. She's missing her back left leg. And since the Natural Dog Expo, she's been having the CBD that you put in the goodie bags for us all at the Natural Dog Expo. So she's been having this. I do think it's helping her. It's difficult because she's getting older. You sort of, I don't know if it's it's like her aging is increasing along the possibility that the CBD is helping. So it's
almost like just trying to keep her on an even keel.
That's what it's all
tricky.
about with her.
Yeah.
I mean, she doesn't need mood enhancing. She's always in a lovely mood, bless her heart. She's adorable. Always really gentle and kind. Kind of dog, but it'd be nice to see her moving a bit better again. We used to do such lovely long walks on the beaches here, and she can go on them now, but she won't be happy the next day. She'll be in pain.
She's in pain. Give her more CBD.
Well, I'm thinking of increasing the dose now. Yeah.
You can even just increase it when you've been on an extra long walk. So I would give her a bit extra before you go, like the morning before you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just play.
Or maybe I'll get
play
the
around with the
dropper
dosage
as well.
Yeah, just give her that, so
that
that within half an hour it just helps, and then when she gets back, to help with her recovery when she gets back from the walk as well, so that she doesn't have that like discomfort the next day.
Yeah.
That would work really well. Yeah.
And other dogs that you have had feedback from, tell me about them.
Oh, there's so many. It's hard to know where to start. I mean, I've got a sheet here actually, if you can see that. But it's
who have we got on here? Let's have a look.
We've got it into the headings of like anxiety.
Oh, I see. So the ailment or the...
Yeah, I mean, like one of the top ones there, if you have a look, it's actually a vet that recommends using us.
Oh, brilliant.
So she prescribes CBD instead of the
gabapentin.
Yeah.
Okay. Dachshund
trazodone.
Odin is vastly improved since being on Hempine CBD. His anxiety is nowhere near as bad. He has been since being on crate rest, and he is so much more relaxed and comfortable. Okay, brilliant.
Yeah, so if you sort of have a flick through, I mean, this is just some examples of them that I brought to show you.
Oh, Barney, our 9-year-old Staffy, lovely Staffies, was passed around 5 homes before he came to us suffering from severe anxiety and aggression. The severity of his symptoms have greatly improved since using Hempine CBD. I've now switched all 3 of my dogs from Trazodone to Hempine. Wow, that's pretty cool. You've got, your arthritis and pain. Spinal cysts, okay.
Yeah, cysts. So we've had a lot of success recently with people that have tried it with cysts in their dogs and their horses. And you can actually see and monitor and see the before and, 2 weeks after, a month after the cyst actually reducing, which is pretty amazing. It's difficult because every animal is different. You can't say that it will help every single animal, but the success rate is really, really high. And there's lots of sort of studies that have been done over the years, research papers into CBD and how it helps animals, but dogs in particular. So there's 2 that have been done by Cornell University of Veterinary Medicine. Okay. One looked into anxiety and the other one looked into arthritis. And in both cases, it was about an 85% success rate on the dogs that were used during the case study, for reduced anxiety afterwards and reduced discomfort and pain. And there's so many studies like that out there that just show all the different things that CBD helps with. The most recent ones that they're still sort of doing at the moment is a couple going. One's for epilepsy, so epilepsy in dogs, and so far the sort of results have been really, really good, really strong, that CBD can help with epilepsy. Another one is for skin issues, and that has again been really successful. Another interesting study that's being done at the moment is looking into cancer and the growth of cancer cells being affected by CBD, so slowing down the cancer cells, which is obviously a huge, huge benefit if that can help with cancer, because that's such a big thing, and not only in dogs but horses, humans, and everything. So a lot of research. And cats.
Yeah, my own cat I lost to mouth cancer, although he was sort of 18, 19, but even so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
So
well that'll be an interesting study.
will
Is that being done by Cornell University as well? Or is that,
Yes.
so
Yeah,
is
that's right.
Cornell UK based, USA based?
USA based.
Okay, well we'll have to find those and put them underneath, I think. If we put them underneath the
Yes.
the video when it goes live onto YouTube.
Yeah.
Those that are watching or listening rather on the podcast, I'm not sure how we will get it across to them, but I will try to maybe put it in a blog
Yeah, that
on
would be
my
good.
website so that we can have a look at those studies as well. So
Yeah.
the one for the cancer,
So the
that's
cancer,
already still happened. That's
That's-
still going.
so
It
the-
hasn't been finished. Is that right?
No. So
Or-
the cancer one is still going.
Right,
The
yeah.
epilepsy case study is still going.
Okay,
They're
yeah.
doing it currently.
Yep.
But the anxiety and the skin conditions and the arthritis ones have been done, and the results have been really positive. Like
There
I
was a
said, sort of
wonderful-
80%,
Yeah.
success rate.
Yeah, which is that's
Just
really,
really
quite
high.
Yeah.
Some
That's
people might
super
say,
high.
"Oh, that doesn't sound high," but if you look at the
Yeah.
success rate with even things like
80%,
paracetamol
yeah.
and things like meds that are out there now, they're often not as high as that. So it's
Okay.
really, really promising.
And often the thing is as well, it is about the growth when it's with cancer, because we had a Pyrenean mountain dog when I was much, much younger. Funnily enough, she had the same leg missing that Fusa has.
Yeah.
Now, the reason why she had that leg missing is because it was removed because she had a cancerous growth there.
Right.
But originally, when she was diagnosed with that, the vet had said, this is quite aggressive. I would expect that we would see this really spread in the next 3 months, and you might lose her because it will hit all her gynae area, and she's not going to be happy at all, and you're going to be looking to put her down probably.
Yeah.
So anyway, we started giving her a product which I don't think you can get it anymore. It was from the Rainforest Herb Company, which, whether they've changed their name, I don't know, but I'm talking probably at least 15, 20 years ago. Anyway, so we were giving this to Poppy, and it sort of had gone past the 3 months, and she still seemed okay. And we were thinking, this is crazy, because I'd read about it, you see, because even back then I'd studied my nutrition already, and I was sort of like a sponge for anything I could learn. And I'd somehow obviously come across this company. So we thought, right, we looked on the calendar, it had been more than 3 months, so she's back to the vets. And the vet said, I don't know what you've done, but this is localised. So if I take her leg, she will live, which is obviously what happened. So, even if we can't take the cancer in that way and we can't cure it, it's not about that. It's
Just
about
to
what can we do to enhance
To manage it, basically.
the management of it, and how can we stop it from spreading. I mean, that alone is just phenomenal.
Yeah, it is. Funnily enough, actually, I've got a owner with a dog also called Poppy that has got cancer. And she buys the horse products, and I said to her, and she said, look, this is, I'm thinking about getting the drops for Poppy as sort of end of life care. Again, they've given her sort of 2 or 3 months to live, and actually it wasn't even that. I think it was about a month. They said, like, we've given, probably about 4 weeks to live. So I said, look, I'll just give you those droppers for free. 6 months later, still giving the free droppers, and Poppy she's still going on the yard, she's running around, she looks happy and she's comfortable. And the owner said, look, as soon as she doesn't look happy or comfortable, it will be time to say goodbye, because I don't want her uncomfortable. And every month she messages me, Joe, Poppy's still here, can we have another bottle of droppers? Joe, she's still here again. And it's just
You're going to have to start charging her at some point, Joe.
I won't know.
A business.
I know, I won't know, because I just love the fact that it's helping her. And she sends me videos, and it's so lovely to see her just still living her best life. And we find that a lot with the CBD. That's a lot of cases that we have. The vets have turned around and said, oh, we don't know what more we can do. We recommend this, we recommend, thinking about putting them to sleep. But CBD is often used as a last case resort when vets don't know what else to suggest. The owners are desperate to just try anything. And in a lot of those testimonials you've got there, you will notice people say, we wish we knew about you before. We wish we tried it before. with previous animals that, they had nowhere to turn, that CBD may have helped with.
There's a bit of a protocol to follow, really. The thing is, when you're at the vet, so they do have to look into things in a sort of a set, almost like a flow chart of you must do this, this, and this, and it's very unusual for them to leap straight to a complementary or alternative. I mean, the vet here, and is she what's her name? Nicola? Is she?
She
traditional vet, would you say? Is she a holistic vet? Yeah, that's really good.
She does,
yeah,
which is good,
so that's
because
great that she's really trusting of the product. Really good news.
She used it on her dog. She bought it for her dog, who had extreme anxiety. He used to go to the beach every day, and then one day this speedboat came past and just really worried him. And then after that, he just didn't want to go on that beach anymore, and it was their favourite walk. And basically, she just, a friend of, or her niece is one of our brand ambassadors, actually, Gemma Ager. And she recommended it to Nikki, her auntie, and Nikki gave it a try, and she couldn't believe the difference. She said it's like a switch just went off in his brain, and she gives it to him each time they're going down to do that walk, and he's now absolutely fine and isn't worried when he goes on that walk at all.
Regular.
He's not having it regularly.
Okay,
she just does it when she takes him for a walk. Yeah, or to that that
to
specific
that place that he's worried about.
So where the trauma happened, and it just seems to have, sort of taken that trauma away from him, or settled his mind.
So it is really something you can use at specific times,
as and when,
and also as a supplement throughout the month to sort of. Or
it
every
depends
day,
what
really.
the ailment is that you're trying to help. If it's anxiety over certain situations, then you can just use it per day or for that occasion. If it's something like arthritis, of course you need to use it all the time, because it's a degenerative disease. It's not going anywhere. It's not getting better.
Well, it might
so
do.
You need to. Maybe it will. I know. This is the next thing. Can CBD cure arthritis? So that's the beauty of it. You can use it as and when you need it. You can use it long term because it's got no side effects. You can use it short term, and often it just gets the dog past that traumatic experience, and then you don't need to use it anymore.
But how quickly would you think that it might work? Because I'm just thinking about Fusa as well, because these, for those that were at the Natural Dog Expo, you will have got one of these in your goodie bags, and I didn't actually even open mine until possibly 6 weeks ago, maybe. So Fusa will have been having this for the 6 weeks. Okay. But I guess she's not an easy dog to tell whether it's going to work or not, because she is quite wonky, to be honest.
Yeah,
her vet physio,
really
she loves when the vet physio comes, and she has to do quite a bit to Fusa. But for the average dog, not a tripod, would you be? I know you said increase the dose, but people would be a little bit like, well, should I increase it, or is it just not working? Or,
so
how far do you go? How much do they have to have a day before you say, hang on a minute, this is just not working?
Yeah, anxiety, I would say straight away. You'd put the dose in, you should see within that day, if the dose is correct, that they are better. So I've got people that go for, they go for a ride, they just want to take the anxiety off of their horse for that ride. And they just find the horse is more chilled and everything. So straight away, if it's pain related, we say within 3 days you should see them more comfortable.
Oh, okay. So I'm definitely not giving enough then, am I?
So no, definitely not 6 weeks.
Why?
We're talking days, not weeks.
She doesn't eat plants, really. She's never been into plants and vegetables, and she eats a fresh raw diet. Yeah. So she'll pick around anything that I put in. So, of course, I've probably been putting a little bit in, thinking, I still want her to eat her dinner. I still want her to eat her tea.
The droppers would be better for her then.
Okay.
Yeah, if it's sort of a fussy eater, or, something that you want to get into them sort of quickly, then go for the dropper, for a walk or something. But with her, if she's going to pick around it, just go with the droppers.
Okay. Yeah. I think it's worth trying. I really
it's
do.
always worth trying.
Yeah,
That's the beauty
absolutely.
of CBD.
Yeah.
There is no,
and it can't do any harm, as you've said, except for if you really overdose, then they may get a little bit of loose stools.
yeah. And then you see that, you know straight away you've given them too much, and then you just
reduce
it back down.
Yeah.
So it's quite nice in a way that does happen, because you know then if you're giving them too much. You know, it's an indication of giving them too much. But most of the time, our dosage guides, so we have a dosage guide that's, like I said, based on weight, very simple to read. It gives
That bit I did I was quite impressed with that.
Yeah, because people want to know.
Yes.
You know, that's what we always ask.
Well, it
how
takes
much
the headache away.
How much do I give them?
Yeah, because when you go on these websites, you have all the options, and I think sometimes too much choice just gets confusing.
Yes, and again with the product, I always say, right, the powder is the most bioavailable, it's the most cost effective, so it's the most effective power wise and cost wise. So always go for that, unless your dog won't eat it, like you were saying, or you want it to kick in within half an hour, then go for the droppers.
Then you go. Well, I might get some droppers anyway. What do they retail at?
So the droppers are $24.99, and the powder, that one's $29.99, and that one's $49.99.
And
but that will last the dog a long time.
Don't buy this one if you've got a dog. I think probably the small, unless you've got a Great Dane.
Or you know that they're going to be on it long term. Then of course,
and
it's 2
There's
years.
no preservatives in it though, so the coconut oil is obviously helping a little bit with that. But you'd have to really seal this properly.
Yeah, as long as you keep it sealed, it lasts 2 years. So you can open it and reseal it, and it will be fine for 2 years. So it lasts a long time. Okay,
and you've bought me this, which is really lovely.
That's all right.
Little gift from you to me, which I haven't got a spoon to try it actually, but it's coconut oil with cacao, raw chocolate. Those that know me well know I make raw chocolates and raw chocolate cakes.
Oh yeah, you'll love that then. That you can use in your cooking as well if you wanted to. You just mustn't heat it above 60 degrees.
Okay.
So keep it below 60 degrees. It's best not to bake with it. I would just add it, just before. Well, yeah.
Put it on toast?
Yeah.
Or is it not for toast?
Yeah, you can put it on toast. Put it on toast like Nutella.
Not
put it into a hot drink.
Bread, being super healthy and all that.
Yeah, I know. It's fine. It's
sourdough all the way.
It's got coconut blossom syrup as the sweetener, and and then raw cacao. Everything is 100% organic. In Race Spirit and Hempine, all of our ingredients are always 100% organic.
Yes.
Because you want to know where the ingredients are coming from.
Yeah, the traceability of things.
Yes,
yes. Exactly. We just overlooked that so much, I think, in the past.
Yeah.
Organic sort of arrived and everyone went, well, it's got less toxins, but the other stuff's okay, really. But the more we go down the route of understanding what's going on with our farming, I totally am
terrifying,
organic all the way.
Isn't it?
It isn't just, I'm not doing it just for me, I'm doing it for the planet. We really need to regenerate. It's no good talking about eco stuff and climate stuff if we're not actually nourishing planet Earth needs to breathe again. And she can't. She's finding it well. I'm not saying she can't. She can, obviously, to a degree, because we're still here. But
it's not
the
looking
degeneration
good,
is happening, and there's so many different things we can be doing. And growing your own, of course, is one way to make your cost for organic cheaper. It's not about
saying... it is expensive buying everything organic.
It seems to be. And also, I'm now feeding Fusa the organic meats, so she's not even having the intensively farmed for her fresh food anymore. And I wish I'd done that earlier as well. There's not many brands, so now I've found one. I'm using that, so I'm trying to make a difference.
I think we've all got to just do our small part, haven't we?
So.
If we all try our hardest to do that, then it makes a difference.
Anything you can buy, either grass-fed is another one for the meat. Organic, supporting the local farms that are, implementing regenerative farming, I think is a really good thing. It's just finding out where they're doing it. But once you know, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that, if you can start a hemp farm, we can start growing stuff even in window boxes. I mean, you know, there's got to be a way that more growing of stuff can be happening, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Did you grow your own stuff back in, where was it you were near?
In Oxfordshire.
Yeah, I thought you were near Reading, actually, but...
Yeah, well, Watlington it was.
Okay.
Watlington near in Oxfordshire. No, because we only got the license 2 years ago, and we moved to Devon to buy land, so we didn't own land.
Fruit and veg or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean we did like the just the peppers and the tomatoes and strawberries. We do all of that here in Devon now as well. We still don't grow as much as we should. But again, it comes down to time management, that we've got a lot going on, like everyone really, we've got busy lives. And so it's actually quite time consuming to then grow everything yourself and look after the garden and keep the children alive. It's just, life is busy, but I think we all do need to up our game.
Yes,
and,
absolutely.
Grow more ourselves,
Start
for
growing
sure.
something. Yeah, even if it's just potatoes in an old tyre in the back garden or something.
It's still something though, isn't it?
Exactly.
That's the thing.
Well, I have a gift for you as well. These are my Sacred Canine heart cards. So these are, although you don't have a dog, so now I'm giving this to you. You're going to have to get one, or one will find its way to you.
Do I need to have a
Our
dog
dogs
to
find
use
us
the
anyway.
cards?
Not necessarily, to be fair. Let me see, because usually when I give the sort of 3-card reading, before you open it, I'll let you choose. People's dog or the representation of their dog will come to them. But obviously with you not having one, so this will be interesting. Go on.
Because, I was just going to say, because Nick, it'd be quite nice to have a guard dog on our land.
Okay.
But it doesn't sit well with me because I like a dog that will sit on the sofa and that we cuddle up with. I don't like the idea of them in a kennel outside, being left there. So he's been looking at sort of Inuits and, the more sort of wolf type dogs. And I'm pushing for a Labrador.
Oh, yeah.
So we're...
Yeah, one of each.
It's probably another reason why we haven't got a dog yet is because we haven't decided on which, he wants one for a different purpose to what I would like one for.
It's finding the breed that matches all of those. So
I don't think it could be both. I don't think it could guard the land while we're not there, and then when we bring it to the house, be a lapdog. It's just not. I don't think it's going to happen. I think we need it for two different purposes.
It depends on the dog. You just got to send it out to the universe, and the right dog will come.
Maybe. Yeah,
when you really
it's worth
connect,
a try. I think you're right. I think we need
their purposes with you. So Tony, one of my canine flow practitioners, has Northern Inuit. She brings them on the retreats. Yeah, quite often.
So they're fine with like children and...
Oh, gorgeous. Well, it depends on the dog, of course.
Yeah.
And how you are with them.
I just feel, but we'd have to leave it on the land on its own.
Yours would be on CBD. It'd be the most chilled out Northern
Inuit. It would be chilled. I know, and then it wouldn't do... Yeah, then it'd be two children. It wouldn't be good at sort of scaring people.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to scare people. It just needs to have a good bark because, when we're not on the land, it's just nice to know it's...
a good bark. Or the Pyrenean mountain dog. That's a classic dog for precisely that, though very hairy.
Yeah, hairy's fine. But then would it also come in the house and be cuddly?
Hairies are really well known, and ours did this. They would corner a burglar.
Okay, that's fine.
They would not hurt that person necessarily because... Yeah, so they're not necessarily... So they come from a sheep guarding background. So they've got that guarding instinct, but they're also complete soppy dates.
Okay, right. I wonder if that comes up on my card.
Well, we've asked for it to now. If it does, it'll be a fix then.
Let's see.
So you cut the pack or you shuffle them, and we'll just pull out a couple just to see what message that the canine realm have for you.
Actually, do it now. Right. Okay.
Okay. So, just start at the top. Okay, so this one is the Breathe Deeply card. So this is, if you're on CBD at all, then this works. Of course, when I did this little book, I didn't do it all in alphabetical order, being me, the complicated way around. So this card, let's have a look. It's all about slowing down, this card, essentially.
This makes sense. Yeah.
So it's really about slowing down, because when you're slowing down, and I mean, even without reading this, it's the dog is looking out, okay, and taking in the surroundings. It's
being
the dog
in the
is,
present.
even though the dog is moving, yes, the dog
Being
is
in the
coming
present.
right into the present and calming and stopping and just taking in that breath of air, to just then what that allows you to be in that space where things will happen to you, things you've put out before that have been blocked or resisted because you haven't had that's the space for them to come in. So that's what that's all about. I mean, to be honest, it's you can't. I mean, you can see it's a bull breed of some kind, but you can't really see the dog, especially, which is quite interesting. And this also here, the sacred geometric shape that's in this one is a little bit like the grid over planet Earth, which I think is a really good feedback sign for what you want to achieve as well.
Yeah, helping the planet.
Yeah. In the canine heart, when you breathe more deeply, your heart coherence balances. It influences every system in your body, as does CBD. This is very apt. Purifying, detoxing and harmonising. Even your hormones find it easier to balance when adequate oxygen is present in your body and its cells. Did you know that dogs can also smell your hormones? So dogs can smell those hormones, so they can... so the dog would know if it was a burglar, because...
Yeah, they'd sense their purpose of why they're there, if they're there for good or bad, wouldn't they?
Yes. Yeah, so that's an interesting card to get, considering everything that's happening to you.
Yes.
And that this geometric shape, I'll have to put it up to the camera in a moment, is definitely the grid of Mother Earth. So she knows what you're doing. She's watching.
She's saying we're on the right
happy
path,
with
right?
you. Oh, absolutely. But not just that. But there's a happiness there where you're creating wonderful things here. It might just seem like, oh my God, I've got to send out some more Hempine. I've got to package this. I've got to do this. I've got the kids to worry about. But what you're actually doing is phenomenal. You're one of the good guys, definitely. And I'm just so pleased that you could come on this. First ever episode of the podcast.
It's been lovely, and it's my first ever podcast too.
Oh,
so
I love that.
We've done it together, haven't we? Done it together. Or the blind leading the blind,
and
maybe.
What? We did not even take any CBD.
We didn't. We did this all without CBD.
Yeah, we thought about it like when we got here, and it was like, okay, well, too late now. Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for watching this episode of the Canine Flow Conscious podcast. We've got lots coming up in the podcast, and I hope you'll stick with us. And also, as I said in my blog about the podcast, if you want to drop in and say hi and even be on the podcast, that's totally fine. You can do that. We're in North Devon. And if you've got any questions or any topics, then do email them over to me from my canineflow.com website. Thank you so much for being part of this podcast.